In my last video, I encouraged DMs and GMs to establish 8 proactive habits to keep their tables running smoothly and keep their souls healthier so they can run games longer without burning out. If this applies to you, there's a video right up here. You can watch that. But if you're a player, would you like to know what your DM, GM would really like from you every time you play? Let me give you a peek behind the DM, GM screen and show you what your DM, GM is secretly hoping you will do. These are the 7 habits of proactive players that contribute to long-lasting campaigns and vibrant tables. My name is Paul, and I'll be your DM for a while. And before I share with you these 7 proactive player tips, I want to let you know that the winner of the Game Master's Handbook of Proactive Roleplaying is the K5K. Well, how did they win this book, you say? It's a good question, because I'm going to tell you how you can win another copy of this book. And all you have to do is be a subscriber to the channel, hit the like button, and leave a comment down below of your favorite proactive tip from this video. I do want to say that these books were given to me. I did not purchase them, but I am giving them away. Because if you've been following this channel for a while, I have done reviews on quite a number of these books, and you can go ahead and check out that playlist right here if you want to check those books out, because I'm going to be giving more of these books away in future videos. So let's get on with these 7 proactive tips for players. So the first proactive tip is this: if you are a player and you really want to show you're committed to the weekly or monthly game, the first thing is communication. Let your DM, GM know as early as possible that you won't be able to make the next session. This is both fair to your DM and to your fellow players. The second thing about communication is talk to your DM, GM between sessions. Share what you'd like your character to do or where you'd like your character to go. Let your DM, GM know if your character is searching for their long-lost twin or for a certain magical relic. Your DM will love the chance to include it into the story. And the third thing about communication is be honest about the sessions. If you feel like the campaign is going great, tell them. If you feel like the campaign is not going so great, tell them. Your DM, GM can only make changes based on the feedback you give them. Your DM, GM, contrary to popular belief, cannot read minds. They need your help to run the best game they can. Unless they're a bad DM, GM, and then you need to find another group. The second proactive tip for players, the things that your DM wishes you as a player would do, is level up and learn. What does this mean? After a session, you might need to level up. So make sure that you've updated your spells for your character if they're playing a wizard or a sorcerer or a druid or another kind of spell casting class. Make sure you know what feats they have and how they work. Update your equipment list with newfound treasure or things that maybe you bought at the store. Add notes to your character, like that limp that you got from the fall in your last session. If you're new to the game system, check out how the rules work for combat or how magic works. This keeps the DM, GM from having to pause the game to explain how the game works. But if you have questions, you should definitely ask. Most of the information you would need is online, so you don't have to buy a new book if you don't want to. The third proactive tip for players is ask questions about the world. Whether your DM or GM is running a homebrew or an established setting, these questions, not all in one session by the way, asked over time will let them know that you are interested and invested in the world you are playing in or building together. Where's a local temple to worship my deity? Does my guild have a location here? Are there any laws that we need to be aware of? Is there a local dish my character can try? The questions you ask can add flavor and lore to every session, building your character's backstory in the process. And speaking of backstory, that leads us to the fourth proactive tip for players, and that is build your backstory. Listen, you don't have to write a 30-page dissertation on your character. In fact, your DM, GM would prefer that you didn't. But here are some simple pieces of information your DM, GM could use when planning their sessions. What are your likes and dislikes? Do you have any family relations? Please let your DM know that they need your permission before any of them are kidnapped, killed, or demon-possessed. Does your character have any scars or tattoos? Is there anything that your character has accomplished or maybe has a degree in or a title that would give them some kind of expertise in their background? Give your DM, GM some threads to pull on, and it will simply expand the world in which you're playing in. Number 5, take the bait. Your DM, GM is going to be throwing out some adventure hooks to see which ones you might take. I know I have planned sessions around a particular idea, and none of my player characters went for it. Sad face. Now, I'm not saying you should take all of the hooks, but if you think your DM, GM has been working hard on something for your next session, lean into it and see where it goes. The 6th proactive player tip is role play. Your DM/GM might not expect this, but I always encourage it. I'm not saying you have to use a funny voice unless you want to, but I am saying it always deepens the immersion of the game when you speak as your character versus saying, my character does this. I had a new person at one of my Learn to Play sessions, and she totally owned it. She spoke to the other characters in her character rather than speaking to me. She would ask them questions or tell them their plans, and it created such a great dynamic at the table. I started calling her Mama Dwarf because of how well she interacted and took care of the rest of the party. Just this past week, I ran a game at North Texas RPG Con, and there were only 2 players, but you should have heard these 2 dwarfs chatter each other. They were like 2 brothers fighting. And the 7th proactive tip for players is risk it for a biscuit. I'm currently running an open table of Ghosts of Saltmarsh. The beginning of the session went like this. I said, you come to a dilapidated set of wooden double doors splintered with paint peeling. The fighter says, I go through the doors. I say, so you open up the door, you try to open it. The fighter says, no, I walk through the door. It looks pretty weak. I said, let's go. This went on throughout the house. He would say, I walk through the door, and I would say, give me a strength check. Many doors died that session, but it was epic because he took a risk and I rewarded him for him. Your DM will likely, read that as should, reward you for your risks as well. If there's a chasm, try to jump it. If there's a chandelier, swing on it. If there's a charging bull, you should probably get out of the way, but see if you can flip over it. The more calculated risks you take, the more exciting your game will be, and the more your DM/GM will appreciate it as you keep the session interesting. But those are my 7 proactive player tips. I would love to hear from you. Which one of these proactive tips do you wish your players would do more of? And if you're looking for more videos on DM tips, well, I have videos right over here. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, leave comments down below, and you will be registered to win the Game Master's Handbook of Proactive Roleplaying. That's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.